All right, legend, welcome to this week here, where this week focus is all about progressive overload, right? And as you've gone along with the program here right now, we start changing up in the way we're doing the training program, right? Because now it's all about adding on. We want to add muscle mass to your body so you can go in and get that, aesthetic, lean look there. So if you haven't heard about the term progressive overload before, I will explain it for you. Progressive overload basically comes down to that we are progressively overloading the muscles, so we are forcing it to grow. We're progressively overloading the muscle, so we force it to grow. And what do I mean by that? The way we can force the muscle to grow and progressively overload in our working programs is, number one, weights. Right? And we talk together through the program, you're tracking every single week. What are you doing in your squats? What are you doing in your lat pull down? You can see what weights you're doing, right? Week for week. And again, your number one job is to kind of like be that throughout the whole program, right? Whether you're becoming faster, fitter, right? Or you start lifting more, because all these things will have been in place and you would have been improved in all these areas. But especially right now, coming into this phase here where it's about building and really start, harness your body and getting that aesthetic lean look, it's all about becoming stronger right now. Because if you become stronger, that is the number one indicator for that you're progressively moving forward, right? So what you oftentimes see when people are trying to get in shape or they're trying to get that lean look is that they're doing a bunch of things, right? They're forgetting about the basics, right? They try to become fancy, they try to do a bunch of circuits, they try to do a bunch of everything, right? They're forgetting the basics. They're basically forgetting to lift weight. And your muscles is built upon that. So if you suddenly start to take the weight off you, start doing more circuit-based training and stuff, your muscles are used to lift a certain weight, and now suddenly you're taking weight away from it, what do you think is going to happen to your muscle? Right? It will start to shrink down to that level now, because it's no longer being challenged and forced to lift with that weight there. So especially when we're trying to build this lean, beautiful aesthetic look and building muscle mass on our body, right? It's super, super important that we're keeping the weight high, right? Adding more weight in each week, knowing what we're at, right? Because you have that in your program. You can track what you're doing. So knowing where you're at and then beat it, right? 30 last week. I want to go 31 and a half this week. I want to go 34, right? So really have that in your mind. Number one is the weights, adding more weights into it. It can also be the time, the duration, right? You're doing a little bit more, or also your volume in your sets, right? So instead of doing 3 sets, now you're adding an extra set in there. That's also progressively overloading the muscle with a little bit more than it's used to, right? So play around with that, but the main one I want you to think about is the weight, right? Is your tracking in your program. This is your focus right now, moving forward into this phase of the program, is tracking the weight, and then each and every week in your compound movements, squats, deadlifts, chest press, overhead press, lat pull down, bend over rows, and these compound movements that you're doing, really track that you're becoming stronger, because this is the key. If you're taking anything away from this program here, the key for you to build this beautiful aesthetic lean look is that you're strong underneath. You're becoming stronger and you can actually move some weight. Are you strong? It will also show underneath. Lower body fat percentage, you will get this beautiful, beautiful aesthetic lean look here. So again, this focus for this weekend, moving forward into the next couple of weeks there, is become super aware of your tracking of your weights when you're doing it, and then play with it. Add a little bit more weight in there, or add another set or another rep or something to your workouts when you're doing them. But really focus on moving in here right now to push yourself and have this in the forefront of your mind.